you know, like everyone wants to host events and stuff.
Straight in there.
Sarajevo in Bosnia have put a bid in for the Winter Olympics.
Hello. Well, I can't see anyone in the chat yet, but I'm going to persevere and hope that someone jumps in there and says hey up. Whilst I create a little cancer stick here. You know, there are people 90 odd years old that have smoked all their life and just die of natural causes, which is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Hello, Lana, and hello, Sky Girl. How are you both diddling? Have you had a lovely weekend? Have you had a good weekend? I've had a great weekend. You know, I don't always have a great weekend. There's so much going on in the world, and because of that, people like us are just transfixed on it, keeping an eye on what's happening, and it's all quite negative. It's rather negative, you know. So it was nice to get out into. Hey up, Ruth. Hey up, darling. You all right? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, to get out into the sticks and get into the countryside, all of that stress just goes. You know, you don't even think about it. You don't even realize it until you come back to reality. So the first night I spent at the caravan, which I did a little bit of a video on. I don't know if I've not watched that back. I don't know. I'd had a few, you know, not many, but I'd had a few. I wanted to be fresh for the following day for that wild camp. So, chilled weekend. Good to hear, Sky Girl. That's what we like to hear. Looking forward to hearing about your adventures. Oh, it was amazing. We were chased by lions. I got kicked in my one remaining bollock by a very angry giraffe. Paul got mauled by a grizzly bear. You know, people don't realize that it's quite dangerous out there in the wild. You know, you've got to be careful. At least take some bear spray with you or something like that, you know, or learn how to fight a lion. You know, these things help. These things are worth looking into, you know. So, yeah, I do apologize if I was a little bit sozzled when I did that little video at the caravan. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh, my. So, yeah, first night at the caravan. And, yeah, there was a few mouse traps that I needed to empty. I still can't find where they're getting in, you know. I need to go and spend a good 3 or 4 days down there, really. I've got so much to do. I need to clean the caravan, trim all the bushes, but I've got a fucking elderberry tree growing out from underneath the caravan now. It's been that long since I've been there. I thought it's just a little plant when I was last there. Now it's got berries on it. So I don't because it's got berries on it. I don't want to pull it up now because it's food, you know, fresh food for me to forage literally outside the door of the caravan. How handy is that, you know? Organic food right outside the caravan. So anyway, yeah, the following day, Paul met me at the caravan and we had a bacon grill couple of cobs each for breakfast. Only to find out that he's a keen fisherman, is Paul. And he said that he uses bacon grill for fishing. He's never eaten it. So I ended up looking at this can of bacon grill that I'm sure most of you guys that aren't vegetarians have got at least 5, 6 10 cans of bacon grill. So I was just looking at this can of bacon grill that I quite like, fried. It's bacon in a can, even though it's probably never seen a pig. I don't know. And I was thinking, this is fucking bait. I'm eating bait. So we went from the caravan, met up with Michael and Alan in a car park, like we were some sort of seasoned doggers, and then we all drove off together in tandem to get as close to where we needed to go as possible, and then rucksacks out, off we went, and it was absolutely beautiful, and yeah, it was a mission to try and find firewood, because we had to have, you've got to have a campfire if you go wild camping. And the spot that, I mean, we were right next to a stream, and this stream, I felt 100% confident that I could literally drink straight from that stream. Michael, he's finally got around to using his Sawyer Mini, so he saw that as a really good opportunity to start using his Sawyer Mini. I would strongly recommend that you guys, to those of you, because I'm sure loads of you have got a Sawyer Mini. You know, I've got 3, 4, something like that. So I know how to use one. Michael now knows how to use one. So that's a really, really important part of prepping, is learn to use your stuff now, get a little bit of practice in, so that you're not panicking at a time when you're going to need it. You know, it will just be instinctive. But I was just drinking straight from this little stream, you know. Now I'm afraid to cough. No, it's not affected me. No, at least I don't think so. Sometimes it can take 24 hours before the problems, you know, start. So, hello, David. How you doing up there? There's my little bit of Scottish there, getting bilingual me. But yeah, even though we couldn't get a signal there was no signal. It was so remote, and but I think even if we could get a signal on our phones, we wouldn't have touched our phones, because it was just constant conversation, constant, you know, and it was all good conversation with depth and variety, and yeah, it was lovely. It was really, 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 really good chemistry, you know. 3 other good men, you know. I couldn't have picked 3 better men to go wild camping with. Took a lovely little. I set my phone up on timer, so that we could take a photo of all 4 of us, and I'll show you it. I'm going to post it in the post section anyway, because I think it should be on there. You know, these are 3 of our little tribe. I don't know if you can make that out. You can't really see it very well. There you go, look, with a beautiful, beautiful backdrop. And we've got another one scheduled in August. You know, I'd do it every weekend if I could. I love wild camping, because you're free. You know, no annoying little shit weasel, spoiled bastard little brats in the tent next to you. None of that. You know, just adults mainly. There's a few other people wild camping there. It's it is quite a popular spot because it's just so gorgeous, and you're just a little bit down from Kinder Downfall, which is a beautiful, beautiful waterfall, you know, that comes down from Kinder Scout, which is the highest point in the Peak District. So it's fucking gorgeous. We will be going back there again. I love Ruth's little hi. Ooh, I love that. So sweet. People use spam as bait too. Yeah. I found, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You know, am I eating like what I consider to be not a very healthy, but a very practical source of meat. It's got a lot. There's a lot of sodium and there's some bad shit in there, you know. But in a pinch, it is a morale booster when it's fried up with some beans and, you know, some flatbreads, stuff like that. Stuff like that, you know, cheap and uplifting, better than beans and rice. But again, beans and rice, the combination of beans and rice, especially if you've got a variety of beans with your rice, it's going to be so fucking boring, mind-blowingly boring, right? But it's got most of what your body needs, just that combination. One normal sized cup of beans has the equivalent protein levels to a breast of chicken, you know. So beans are so good. It's just that chicken doesn't make you fart. See the honeyberry plant. See, do you have more than one? No, I don't. So I think I know where you're going with that. I need two to get them to pollinate. I don't know why I'm doing that. Scissor sisters. God, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I never thought of that because I got about 10 berries off it, and I thought this is shit. So I was quite tempted to rip it up and just put something else down there, maybe another gooseberry bush, something that's, you know, gonna propagate and keep producing loads and loads and loads of fruit. So yeah, that's good advice, mate. To be honest with you, I didn't actually think about that. I thought about that with my pear trees, with my the original one pear tree. The following year, getting no pears. So then I got 2 more pear trees, and now I've got loads of pears. So there's definitely something in it. And my tobacco plant, the one that Michael gave me, fuck me, you know, it's massive. It's massive. I don't know whether to like chop leaves off to start curing them or climb up it and make a tree house. Huge. Was doing a bit of a read up on them and not supposed to be self-pollinating. Need at least 2 to get the best out of them. Right, I'll get another one in there, mate, because even though I'm not particularly massively keen on the fruit, because even though they look a little bit like blueberries, they don't really taste very honey. They're not horrible, you know. It's just like, you know, when you eat a fresh organic strawberry from your garden, you can taste that strawberryness to the point where it's moreish. I wasn't getting that from those honeyberries, you know. So having a shitload of them. But yeah, I'll get another plant then. They're not that expensive, and I'll get it planted up because it's a very, very healthy plant. You know, it's loving where it is. Remember at school when we used to sing beans, beans, good for you, good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you fart. I don't remember that one. I remember another one, but I can't remember how that went. But yeah, I mean, beans are a bastard for that. You know, it's but it's a sign that that it's working well with your digestive system when you give out air. It's not particularly pleasant for those around you, but you don't mind you don't seem to mind savouring the flavour of your own brew. I've got to be honest, I don't like it when people fart around me, right? Because if you can smell it, the reason you can smell it is because the smell is reaching the receptors in your nose, right? And the reason that you can smell it is because they are tiny, tiny, microscopic particles of fecal matter. So if someone farts next to you and it stinks, it's because you've got their their shit, literally their shit in your nose and in your mouth. So I don't like it, you know, I really don't like it. But hey, you know, call me old fashioned, you know, if I feel one brewing, I'll just like, I'm just going to go out for a fag, or can I use your toilet, or I'll go somewhere. Otherwise, I'll just hold it in and hold it in and hold it in until I end up looking like, you know, when you blow a balloon up, it's massive, and you let go of it. That'd be me, just flying around the room, you know, with the world's longest fart in a room full of loads of people that don't actually mind. They find it quite funny, you know. But yeah, there's a really interesting visual for you to take home. You're welcome. I'm looking forward to eating the farty artichokes for the first time. I think you'll like them, Ruth. They're not offensive at all. They taste just like potato, but with just like a smoky element to it, like smoky potato. That's the nearest I can give. So they're not offensive in any way. They don't taste rough. I was very apprehensive when I ate mine for the first time because I'm a fussy fucker, you know. It irritates me how fussy I am. So when I'm trying something different for the first time, I'm always on guard. But it's less stressful for me to try a different type of vegetable, a different type of root vegetable, a different type of fruit. You know, that's not nowhere near as bad for me. But if someone said, "Do you want to try a bit of this shark?" or "Yeah, Terry, you said you were hungry. I've just been over there and I've got you this ostrich burger." I'm like, no. Take it back. Or you eat it. I'll go back over there and I'll see if they've got any burgers. Some normal beef burgers. I don't want ostrich. I'm old school. Oh God, that's not nice on our mouth and nostrils. No, it's not. I don't want other people's shit in my mouth and up my nose. Isn't it called scat? Is it scat? There's an actual niche of porn, I believe, that was made very famous by something called, is it 2 girls, 1 cup, or 3 girls, 1 cup, or something like that. I've never actually seen it because it's not my thing. I think it's disgusting. The level of deprivation that people would go to just to make something viral, almost really viral. So yeah, scat is a type of porn where people eat. Yeah, it's just fucking hell. This is what I'm saying. The world is got to a point now where decadence has taken over, and decadence has always been the main signal that there's massive societal change right on our doorstep, and we're looking around and we're seeing that and we're feeling that. There's a lot of people kind of going to certain hotels now, and there are groups forming outside lots of different hotels all over the country now. This is good. This is a good thing, right? And the more that happens, the more you see fear, right? So fear is it spreads, you know, it can spread, but so can courage. So, and people are going to prefer courage over fear. Always. If anyone prefers fear over courage, then they're not wired up right. So you get more and more and more and more people going to more and more and more and more hotels with placards and, you know, shouting, "Save our kids, save our kids." The police are going to be stretched so thinly that they're not going to be effective anymore. So I would like to know what the plan B is, because surely they saw this shit coming. I did. I don't know, most of you did. I've heard dragon fruits are lovely. They are. Yeah, they're lovely. They are lovely. Very unusual looking. But they are nice. There's not many fruit I haven't tried because they're fruit, you know. I like fruit and I'll try it because it's fruit, because it's vegetation. I'll give it a go. It's meat. It's meat, you know. When I found out that horse meat had gotten into the food chain, I felt physically sick, thinking I've been eating horse, you know, and no one was ever arrested for that, you know, not one single person. And that was horrendous, you know, the idea of eating a horse. Some people will go, well, you eat cows, it's another animal, it's another vegetarian animal. What's the difference? And I get that. But if it had said horse lasagna, right, I wouldn't have fucking bought it. It's the fact that it said beef lasagna and it wasn't beef, it was horse. That's what pissed me off. And heads should have rolled for that, but they never did. Same as the banking crisis in 2008. Those bankers were still getting their bonuses, you know, millions and millions and millions after fucking the entire economy up, destroying businesses. And yeah, so these bankers that should have been arrested got away scot-free and continued to get richer. It's all got to change. It's all got to change. And I think we're seeing that shift starting to happen now. What happened in Southport, like I said, is that was just a little growl. It was a little growl. But because people are seeing these attacks and these rapes, you know, I won't say grape like all these other fucking. I'm trying to take our free speech away, you know. Whilst they're graping our women. You see what I mean? So yeah, people are starting to learn about these things, especially in like some relatively close-knit communities where a lot of people are going to know that young girl, or a lot of people are going to know that woman, you know. Or like I said, there was a rape of a man last week, and you know, and it was a 60-year-old man, so by another asylum seeker. So people, you know, this is bringing communities together. It's an us versus them thing. So I would love to know what their plan B is. I think one positive thing so far, because it is going to escalate, I think we can all agree on that, is that because there are people turning up outside loads and loads of hotels, what few police can attend because they're being stretched, are telling the people inside the hotel, the cockroaches, to stay indoors, to stay in their rooms, to stay in the hotel. So whilst they're in the hotel, they're not outside raping, are they? I'm not saying that they're all rapists. I'm not saying that they're all murderers. But I'd rather send every single one of them back just to be sure, because they're unvetted. We don't know anything about them. Yeah, dragon fruit looks rather strange. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I don't even know why it's called dragon fruit. And to anyone that's eats it, that likes an avocado, because you're a little bit like that, you know, I'm not a fan, because when I'm eating it, I'm thinking, is it a fruit? Is it a vegetable? I like to know where I fucking stand with food. You know, don't confuse me. And I know tomatoes are a fruit. I know that. right? But they can be really sweet, you know. So I get that, but avocados, they're like a hybrid, you know. Not a massive fan, but I think it's something like 80% of avocados come from Mexico, and Mexico has been slapped with massive tariffs from Trump, and so the price of avocados is going to go through the roof. And I don't know of any way of preserving, buying shitloads of avocados in whilst they're affordable, and then preserving them so that you can eat them over the months, because I know that they're good for you. I know that they've got a lot of good oils in them, that are really, really beneficial to the body. It's just not my cup of tea, Oh my God, just Googled that scat you mentioned. Oh no, Scargo, you didn't, did you? Hey, at least I warned you. It is disgusting. It's disgusting. That's what I'm saying about porn. It's so easily accessible for these young'uns. The nearest I had to porn when I was like 14 years old, 13, 14 years old, smashing through puberty, right, was fucking, I don't know, Sam Fox on page 3. That was the nearest I had to porn. That was it, or the underwear section of the catalogue. That was it, Now, our young people are being exposed to scat porn, and bratty sister. So shagging your stepsister, shagging your stepmom, stepdad shagging stepdaughter. It's everything's so corrupt now, and our kids are being exposed to all of this. Oh dear. You can freeze avocados. I didn't know that. Right, that's brilliant. If you like avocados, and I would recommend. I mean, I've just got a fridge freezer. That's all I've got. It's a 4-drawer freezer, so I can fit quite a lot in there. But I'd recommend that people maybe invest, if you can afford one, invest in a chest freezer, or another separate freezer, so you can just bang more stuff in there. The more ways you can come up with to preserve stuff, whether that's pickling, dehydrating, and I don't think any of us is freeze drying. So, but yeah, it's just another. Yeah, you'll have more space to freeze more stuff. It puts it in cryo status. So you 1-pot meals. Make a big vat of it, and then put it into separate tubs. So you've got all these freshly cooked meals in your freezer. Get an extra freezer if you can. Oh, I did get the same, because I contacted 2 sellers in regards to the organic, so not free range, no, organic freeze dried whole egg powder. I managed to convince 2 sellers the last time, but one was a little bit cheaper than the other one. So I've not bothered with the other one, but I've gone back and it's the same seller that's agreed to this again. Bear with me one sec. Yeah. So it starts tomorrow. I think, I don't know if they've gotten back to me yet, but they're in agreement with it. And I went straight in with the 10%. So not only are they the cheapest on eBay anyway, that's a further 10% off. And I expected them to haggle with me. But because they didn't haggle with me, they clearly remember doing really, really well off this, the last time. And I'll definitely buy some more in. And the dates are usually around best before 3 years, right? But personally, this is just my opinion, do your own research. I reckon you could double that if you pack them down and keep them somewhere dark. you know, get all the air out of it. It's freeze dried, you know, but it's probably one of the most important food stuffs that you can have, especially from a prepper's point of view, because it's, again, you can mix it in with your making bread to give it a little bit of fluffiness. I've done that loads of times with powdered egg that I bought from this seller. And again, I just get the same discount as you. I don't get any freebies. If you start asking for freebies, it starts putting them off. So you just make it sound like 100% you are going to benefit from that, and they will. So the seller, get a pen. You got a pen? I'll do a short again tomorrow anyway. It's called Shoppers Planet 86, and the 10% discount code. So you'll click on buy it now, or you pick whatever you want, 500 grams or a kilo or whatever you want, because the price of eggs are going to go up and up and up and up. They want us to stop eating stuff that's really, really beneficial to us. You know, it's got extremely good, all cholesterol is good for you. All, as long as you exercise. Your brain is 92 to 99% pure cholesterol. You need it, you know. Percent off, so it'll be Rose Hippie Guy, all one in caps. Rose Hippie Guy 10. Oh, it's so loud, so loud. Bear with me. Oh, I thought she'd stop then. Oh, she has now. Oh, it's just so stressful. It's so fucking stressful. You know, fuck me. Right, where was I? Freeze them whole. Put some lemon juice on top of it to stop it from going brown. Freeze them whole. Yeah, do you freeze them whole, or do you process them? I suppose the casing of the avocado would protect the center of it. I think that works in my head. Cook them up, pour lemon juice on them and freeze them. Right, okay. You would have to just check about freezing them whole. Yeah, look into that, because avocados they're ridiculously good for you. Ridiculously good for you. I just don't like them because I just don't like the texture. I don't like the flavor. I don't like the taste. I don't like the smell. I don't like the fact that I don't know if it's a fucking vegetable or a fruit, you know? So I don't eat them, but I know a lot of people do. And all I'm saying is that the price of avocados are going to go through the roof. And bananas as well. That the price of bananas is going to go through the roof, because different plants can be affected by different funguses and pests, and you know, and there's a form of blight that's wrecking loads and loads of banana plantations at the moment. So that's going to send the price of bananas through the roof. And I love bananas. Bananas, it's my favorite fruit, you know. You should look at the health benefits of bananas. I've chopped loads and loads and loads of bananas down, dehydrated the shit out of them so that you can barely bend them. They're obviously better freeze dried, but I haven't got a freeze dryer. But yeah, I've dehydrated the living life out of them, and then I've put them in vac pack bags, sealed them up, and put them away. So I've got bananas. You know, it does work. It does work. Again, it's not as good as It's not going to be as good as freeze drying. Freeze drying anything's better because it holds on to more of the goodness, you know, something like 85 to 90% of the goodness. Whereas dehydrating it just take a bit out of it. Hello, Joanna. You give me hope, Joanna. Give me hope, Joanna. I'll always do that, Joanna, when your name pops up. I can't help it. Thanks, Terry, for the discount. No problem, Ruth. Yeah, so yeah, if you find it, I'll do another short tomorrow. I'll do a short. Let me just check to see if they've gotten back to me. I don't like fucking about with my phone, as you know, but it would be nice to see if they've gotten back to me because, again, I've not had a signal for most of the weekend, which is nice, you know, to get away from tech and just converse, communicate like we used to do. It's good for us. So let me just see if they've gotten back to me. So yeah, they must have done really, really well off the last one because they did enter 5%. And yeah, please do it if you haven't already. Do a proper deep dive on the benefits of chicken, of hen eggs. You know, that, I mean, the yolk alone contains everything that chick needs for perfect development. And the egg white is just to keep the chick moist. Grow up, Terry. What are you, 9? Right, let's have a look. Give me hope, Joanna. That's in my head now. Hope, Joanna, give me hope until the morning come. I can't seem to find it. Where would I look for messages? But yeah, you know, and the amount of eggs that must be used to make that amount of egg powder. And like I said, you can use it like normal egg. Once you've mixed the powder in properly, done it properly, so there's no little lumpy bits. It has got the exact same consistency as a beaten egg in a bowl, a fresh egg. It's just that when you're making stuff like scrambled egg, it's not, the consistency is different, and yeah, it is a bit different because it's been changed a little bit on a molecular level, because it's been turned from an egg white and egg yolk in its like liquidy form into a powder. So it's not going to be the same, but it's still going to have all of those health benefits. And I'm telling you, if this is stuff you can just pack down, put it in a cool, dark place. I know that we're all running out of cool, dark places. Storm, leave your ear alone. But if you've got stuff in cool, dark places already, weigh up whether or not you can just get that out, start using it up so you can just stock up on whole egg powder. It's a superfood. I can't find them. Oh, here we go. Right. All right, she's gotten back. And she called me dear. She called me dear. Look. You can't really read it because of the live. Anyway, she says, certainly will do. Just drop a message and the code will be active. Thanks. So I'll do that tonight. Ready for first thing tomorrow morning, because they might not get the message tonight. But then, yeah, so click on whatever it is that you want, whatever quantity you want, and then go to checkout, and then it will say code, like promotional code or discount code or something like that, a little box. Just type in there, Rose Hippie Guy, all in caps, 10. That's it. And that will knock 10% off straight away. And they usually do it for about 2 weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks. And then it starts to drop off a little bit. But it's certainly, definitely something that you should stock up on. Because other than pickling eggs, there's no real way of storing eggs long term, unless you make loads of scrambled egg and freeze it. But again, freezer space is so valuable, you know. I just want meat and cheese in mine. Not easy being cheesy. Shoppers Planet 86 for the freeze-dried egg. Yes, it is, Sky Girl. At the dog lapping up the water. I know. If you could get in my head and have this disorder, right, and you could hear that through my ears and feel what I feel, it's horrific. It's so stressful, you know. But again, it sounds completely irrational, and it is irrational. It's a dog drinking. That's all it's doing. That's all she's doing, having a drink, you know. But it's the noise. It's the same as noisy eaters, you know, the ones that go. I'd have to either say something or just remove myself instantly, you know. Like, you do realise that table manners set us apart from farmyard animals, don't you? What do you mean? You eat like a fucking pig. It stresses me out that much that I would be that upfront with them, you know. There's no need for people to eat like that. We're meant to be civilized. I think I've missed out on some. Yeah, we'll just have a couple of hours, because I know that some of you have got work in the morning and that, and whenever I go away on a Friday, if I just go away for 2 nights, I'll make up for it on a Sunday with a short live stream, you know, just so we can get in touch again. Lucky enough to have honesty boxes around here with fresh eggs. I love that. And there are people that are just selling half a dozen free range organic eggs for £1.50 for half a dozen. You know, that's half the price that shops are selling them for. Some £1. People have got loads and loads of hens, and they just have got shitloads of eggs. I mean, we struggle to keep on top of 3 hens. It's like, what's for tea? Omelette, right? And then breakfast. What do you want for breakfast? Fried egg. What's for lunch? More scrambled egg. You know, it was just we had to start coming up with ways of using them up, because we didn't want to give them. We gave them away a few times. Once to Sally's niece, and she's like, "Oh no, I can't eat them." Organic, free range eggs from our hens that were very well looked after. No. But if you pass a box of battery hens that have a horrible life, it's got a little thing printed on the actual egg, and you give it an official marketed branded box. I'm like, oh, thank you. It's mad. But because she could physically see where these eggs were coming from, that's what I'm saying. So many people have become disconnected from our food sources, you know, and the process of how it got from there, from being what it was, into a product, and then onto your plate. They've lost touch, that connection, you know, which is sad. But yeah, I love the whole honesty box thing. It's very British. I don't think they do that anywhere else in the world, you know. But I can't see that lasting for much longer, because you're going to get people that are getting more and more desperate for food, and a lot of the wheat and the grains and stuff that we're eating this year were from what was around last year and the year before. So stuff like that's just going to get more and more and more expensive. Alternatives. Yeah, it is good. Always good to have an alternative. That's what we do. You know, we have a backup for a backup for a backup. Avocados. No, sorry, I don't like them. Bananas are brilliant. Yeah. I'm in the same camp as you, Joanna. Yeah, I love again, but it only happens in rural places, you know. And this is predominantly a city prepping channel. So anything that you've ever learned from this channel or from, you know, our little tribe here, in regards to prepping in a large town or a city, any of those tips are going to be a piece of piss living out in the sticks. But I think if you live in the sticks and you haven't got any immediate neighbours, I would consider investing a little bit in home defence. You know, the sales of crossbows and air rifles are at record highs. You know, and that's very reassuring. Yeah, you know, they might have, you know, they might, if they've got guns, you know, we've still got the brains. We've still got the brains. You know, and these little crossbows, it's 250 feet per second. You know, let that sink in. That's fucking powerful. So I'd recommend maybe getting a Mantis. They're still affordable at the moment, but if everyone starts sending off for them, then there could either be a waiting list for these items that are legal, right? It does fascinate me that they're legal because of the damage that they can do. If you fired one of these bolts straight into someone's stomach and it ruptured their stomach, then all of the acid that's in the stomach would leak out. It would be unbearable pain, you know. Just saying, not saying go around shooting people with crossbows. Just saying, you know, if your life's at threat, you know, and you've got people trying to get in your house, you know, fuck around and find out. Yeah, £2 for six organic eggs. I agree. We need to back up alternatives. Yeah, we do. Everyone should have a backup for a backup for a backup, just in case one fails. You know, that's why I've got 4 Sawyer minis. I can't remember how many liters that can filter, but I know it's in the hundreds of thousands, and that's just one. I've got 4, so. I mean, I wouldn't bother with a life straw or anything like that personally. I wouldn't. But Sawyer minis have got a really good reputation, and they're not expensive, and they're easy to use, you know. But all 4 of mine, I've had a kit around each Sawyer mini. So each kit contains a bandana, some water purification tablets, a little pipette bottle dropper of bleach as another backup, an extra liter bag that fits onto it. Everything I need in there. A little firelight. I've got a ferris rod in every one of the kits. I've got a really, really, really groovy paracord bracelet attached to each one that's got a little built-in mini torch, a fire starter. Yeah, I like to have when I'm putting something together, and I need to make sure that I can maximize and cover as many angles as possible. But if you haven't got a Sawyer mini, please send off for one. You know, I highly recommend them. And apparently, last night was meant to be the start of a meteor shower, but you know, it's the dark peak. It's got its own weather system up there, so it got really cloudy, so we couldn't see anything. But all you could hear, I mean, I was about from here to well, you can't see where my front door is, but I was about from here to my front door, away from this babbling little stream, you know, of crystal clear, living water. So you drink a mug of that, and that's going to hydrate you properly because it's living water. You know, that shit that's coming out your taps, that's not just dead water, but it's pharmaceutical water, you know, and liquefied humans. Anyway, where are we? I agree. Yeah, wasn't egg powder used during the war? I think it was, but I think it was dehydrated and just turned into a powder. So when you dehydrate eggs, yeah, it will make them last a bit longer, but not long. Because they wouldn't have had freeze drying equipment back then. So it would have been dehydrated and made into a powder, but it's just dehydrated. So you can dehydrate it. It's messy, you know. Good luck with that. You need to get loads and loads of grease-proof paper, and then you need to form a lip all the way around the middle section. You've got to cut the greaseproof paper out to fit inside one of your dehydration trays, and then make a little lip all the way around the edge so it doesn't slop out. And then that takes a shitload of electricity because it's all moisture. This stuff takes forever to dry out. But this is freeze dried stuff. So anything freeze dried has got an incredible shelf life, and it maintains most of its nutrients as well. It's an absolute no-brainer. So out of all of the things that I could have got money off, this is the one, you know. So please take advantage of it. Like I said, I make fuck all. I don't make anything out of it, you know. I just get 10% off like you do, and I'll be stocking up on it. I've missed a bit. I'm sorry for falling behind on the chat. Where are we? Yes, you're right. It was. We could learn a lot if we did some research on World War II food and cooking. I totally agree. Yeah. I mean, we can. There were rations. The country had ration books and stuff like that. So people were having to be creative. You see, because everything's the wrong way around. I'm trying to straighten my hat up, but it's going the wrong way. I started to look like what was his name? Oh, Betty, whatever his name was. But yeah, these old World War II cookbooks, stuff like that, you know. Trying to make the most out of just cheap stuff that you can put together to make it half decent, you know. I'd strongly recommend that you invest in stuff like that. And books on, or at least one good book on seed saving, because we might not be able to buy any more seeds without our digital ID that I don't want. So seed saving and setting up a Facebook seed page, seed saving, seed sharing group, or joining one that's in your area, that'll be a good idea, because you can continue to do that no matter what. And the only real proper safe food for you to eat right now is what you grow and what you forage. I did put a video in the post section about what they're spraying on our organic food now as well, and it's just disgusting. No, I'm having none of that. The microphone hole in the webcam, can you give it a sharp blow of air and see if it cleans the crackling? Is it crackling? It's not my chair, is it? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's not really been on anything, or so I don't think it's the microphone on that. Are you sure it's not my chair? I'll try and keep still a little bit. Yeah, can you let me know if that's changed at all, Lana? Because there shouldn't be any reason for any interference right now. There should be no reason for it whatsoever, because nothing's changed, you know. What is isinglass? So eggs were preserved in isinglass. I've got no idea what that is. I'll have to look that up, because if that's another way of preserving food, then it's all good. It's all good. We should be trying to get as much food as we possibly can during the growing season, and then finding out ways and getting loads and loads of other stuff in as well, shop bought as well, right? And then just finding ways of preserving it, you know. What was that? Isinglass, because I've never heard of it. I'll look into that. I like stuff like that. The more ideas, the better, you know. I still need to get around to making a massive amount of sauerkraut. You don't even need to refrigerate that, as long as it's kept somewhere cool and dark. Again, I know that we're running out of cool and dark spaces. Yeah, crackling seems to have reduced and is better. Still a little crackling now and again, but not so bad. Well, all I can do is apologise to you guys, because I'm not doing anything different. I've got nothing next to the webcam or anything like that could be giving off interference or anything like that. Can anyone else hear the crackling? Because I'm starting to wonder, maybe it could be your end, Lana. I don't know. Soya Mini, 100,000 litres. 100,000 litres before that Soya Mini is useless. You know, for the cost and the size of it. I mean, what you could do is you could buy, depending on your budget, you could buy a load of people a Soya Mini for Christmas. And they'll be like, fuck's this? You go, it's a Soya Mini. Yeah, but what is it? It's a water filter. Fuck do we need one of them for? You'll see. Just put it away somewhere. Once you've used it and it's had water in it, you've got to protect it from frost. One frost on a Soya Mini will destroy it. So if you ever take one while camping with you or anything like that, if you go camping during the winter, keep it inside your bra or down in your underwear. I know it doesn't sound very hygienic, but you've got to keep it warm, frost free, you know. You can get little insulation things that go around them, but they cost nearly as much as a Soya Mini, so make your own. My last employer decided to sack me for not agreeing to take a salary drop, then up my part-time hours and work more. I am not giving HMRC any more money. Dave, 30 years, 38 years of tax. Yeah, Sky Girl, but they just want more and more and more. They want each and every single one of you to remain a debt slave for the rest of your life. That's what they want. But that's not what they're going to get, you know. Like I said, there are loads of choices. Everyone's got a choice. It's all about choices. You know, this option, really bad. This option, shit. But it's still a choice, you know. But then there's usually another option, you know, that can counter the negativity. You just got to think about it, you know, find it. So fuck them, Sky Girl. You stand your ground. I like tenacity in people, I do. Being in my camp will surely give you hope. Oh, that's a lovely little message, that is, Joanne. I have done a video on your Sawyer military and your bag you're talking about. Oh, have you? I'll have a watch of that, Ruth. You see, I've clicked on all notifications on your little bell icon, and I've not been notified. But then I've not since I've got back, because I had to get from the wild campsite back to the caravan, pick up my solar generator, have a bit of a clean up, wash some pots from the night before, make sure everything's spick and span, and then came home. So I've not really checked my phone, and nothing was happening whilst I was wild camping because we didn't have a signal. I refuse to work. I'm nearly 60. Are you nearly 60, Ruth? You sound like a 21-year-old. And that chuckle that you've got, a lovely, cute chuckle you've got. I've worked from 16. Yeah, me too. You know, these are back in the days when you could just lie about your age. I'd have been at school. I was in a factory, you know. And instead of a mum turning around and saying, you've got to go to school, you need to learn, you've got to get through exams and blah, 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 blah. None of that. As soon as she found out I was earning and playing truant, she just started charging me board for beer time. You couldn't make this shit up. This government can foxtrot. Oh, I like that. They're getting nothing more from me. Yeah, they're just blood-sucking bastard leeches. That's all they are. And this is all going to come back and bite them on the arse so hard. There will be something better for you, Sky Girl, if you want another job. Yeah. You know, there's always something out there that suits us. Because you don't want to get up in the morning thinking, oh no, you know, and then just sort of like clock watching all day, because you just can't wait to get the fuck out of there. You know, try and find something, if you can, find something that you enjoy doing, you know. Because going to work, for example, you end up with, you know, you meet new people, you start gelling new people. It becomes like an extended family, you know. Right, so is the crackling still there? I don't know what else to do. I can't think of what else could be causing it, you know. Well, that must have been quite unpleasant for you to watch. My fucking Ewok mouth that close to the screen. Anyone that just sort of chimed in then just to have a look at this live stream and saw that, they'd be like, what the fuck's going on here? What's this? Right. I asked in the chat and others are getting the same crackling. Right. Is it still crackling now? Right. Okay. I've got absolutely no idea what was causing that crackling, and look, to be honest with you, it would irritate me as well. So, you know, when you want to just kind of hear a clear voice, crackling, it's like one of those irritating noises. And once you've locked onto it, you can't. It's there, you know. It's just irritating. So I hope it's gone. Started full-time work at 15. I gave up that rat race at 55, and I'm 60 next year. We're having a party, Ruth. I'll come down. I'll come and see you. So we are the same mind frame. Yeah. Well, I think we're all of a very similar kind of. We're not off. Just like an average of about 10, 15 years in our little tribe. So I think most people are around my age, you know, 21-ish, you know. I can't hear much crackling. Good. This is good. The crackling seems to have gone now for me. That's good. Almost clear. Defo much better than before. Yeah, but all I did was blow into what I think was the microphone. But I don't think there's any dust or anything like that in there. I don't know what that was. Maybe it was just a little anomaly. Anomaly. That's a word that's difficult to pronounce when you're pissed. Anomaly. Right, good. Okay, I'm glad that I've got a 5x5. When you say the word crackling, it makes me think of Crackling Rose Made Me Smile. Crackling, did he sing a song called Crackling Rose? Crackling Rose, you make me feel like a guitar strumming. Is that the one? Please let me know. Crackling. No, have you done a video? Not me. Oh, right. I'm so far behind. I'm so sorry. Ruth. What was the video about? What did you ask me again, Ruth? To do if I've done a video or I'm doing a video on whatever it was, so I don't have to scroll all the way back up again, because I've lost the thread on that. Yeah, and you look 32 as well, Lana. You know, you look after yourself, and you're not a parting trout. You know, folk, women, look, honestly, really good men like women that are 100% natural. And by that, I don't mean like pubic hair that's so long that you could make dreadlocks or plait it, or Tina Turner wigs under your armpits. We're not keen on that, you know. But other than that, we like the original thing, you know. My dad sent me a meme the other day, and it said, "This is what archaeologists 2,000 years from now will find," and it was a perfectly laid out skeleton, female skeleton, right? And it had some like sloppy filler around the skull, jaw, and teeth, and 2 silicon bags on the rib cage. I just thought, yeah, it's about right. It's about right. You know, it's mad. I don't like pouting trouts. I don't like fakery in any way. If you fake yourself physically, then you are a fake. You know, but that's just my opinion. I know women, I think men, you know, I think a lot of women think that all men go for someone younger, than them, you know. And I think a lot of middle-aged women feel like they've been left out to dry, and that's just simply not the case. It really isn't, you know. That's fixed it now. Right, good. I'm glad that there's no more noise. You're very, very welcome, Lana. Very welcome. Bits and bobs. All your bits and bobs. Ah, yeah. I did do a video. Yeah, I did a video ages and ages ago. Shall I go? Do you want me to get one of my kits and just for anyone that hasn't seen that video, I'll get my kit out. Keep it clean. Get your kit out for the girls. Come on, Zoe. Get your kit out. Oh. Rucksack. That was very, very, very well packed. Right, so this is my water purification kit. And I'll go through it. Do you want me to go through everything? Hi, Vicky. Oh, Vicky. Hey, Vicky. It's Sticky Vicky. Hey, sweetheart. How you doing? You all right? I hope so. Yeah, I'm getting my kit out. Got my kit out for you. Terry, the tripod. You know, that'll be a bonus video for members only of my OnlyFans account. So this is permanently attached to it, which is it's got a little stand on the back, so you can just aim it up to whatever it is. It's very, 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 very bright. That's the lower setting, and then that's your. Whoa! I hope no one's having an epileptic fit now. I've just done that. I feel dreadful. And then I've got my paracord, a paracord bracelet, which is obviously a bit more groovy than the very, very basic one that I've always got on. But it's got a button compass that you're never ever don't ever trust a button compass, right? Don't ever. But it's got a little fire steel there, look. There's that's the scratcher, look, the metal scratcher, and then this central section here is a mini fire starter, flint ferrous rod. So I've got paracord and a way to make fire. I've got some with torches on, and it's got a torch as well in the side there. And every sort of few months or so, I go around and recharge everything. Take the batteries. All my batteries are rechargeable. And I've got our flag, even though it's a maritime flag, it still unites England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Right, so this is what I've got. I'm going to put it all on the floor. So an extra bag that contains a litre, right? Now, this is the one that came with the Sawyer Mini. And these lids are exactly the same size as any standard bottle of water that you'd buy. So you can get it, you can fill that up, and then you can fill it, put it into a water bottle, you know, so it's easier to carry. So one of them. strongly recommend that you guys invest in some of these. They're like little paper towels. You know, you just drop them in a bit of water. They absorb the water. Wet wipes. Got about 5, 6 of them in there. This is my Sawyer Mini because it's in camo, right? So there's your Sawyer Mini, right? Amazing little piece of kit. Everyone should have at least one. Oh, I've got loads and loads of them. A lot. Also inside here, a little multi-tool. So it's got pliers on there, it's got a knife on there, screwdriver on there. There's about eight attachments on there. So I've got a little mini multi-tool in there that just goes into this tiny little bag here. What else have I got? I've got a shitload of these in here now. But they're good. They come in handy as toilet roll, you know. If you get caught short, then it's a solution, you know. Got to be clean. The bandana, each one of my kits, each one of all 4 of my kits has a bandana. So you place the bandana. So that's your vessel, yeah, that you're collecting the water in, that you want to collect the water in. You then put the bandana straight over the top of it, like that, straight over the top of your container, and then pour stuff out of something that's a bit muddy, or it's got loads of bits floating on the top. Pour it straight on top. Make sure it's a bandana or something that's not been washed in soap powder or clothes conditioner, right? So there's no odor, because it's going to make your water taste gross. So that's what the bandana is for, to get rid of, separate all of the debris and anything else that you don't want going into the water. What else have I got? Duct tape. You can never have enough duct tape. And inside this duct tape is a little card, a tool card. It's a tool card with, it's got sewing needles, and you just snap them out as you need them. So I've got a tool card, and then this, which is also, duct tape's amazing for blisters. So if you feel a blister coming on, as soon as you feel it coming on, just put some duct tape right over the blister. Stop it in its tracks. So one of them, got nothing to do with water. This is my instructions. So I've still kept the Sawyer Mini instructions, even though I know what I'm doing with them. But just take that out, fold it up into a nice, neat little thing like that, and keep it in your kit, you know, just to remind yourself of how to use it if you've not used one yet. This is the back flush syringe, right? So when you use your Sawyer Mini for the first time, you need to prime it. So try 2 pints of water through it first. That sort of kind of activates it. If you do a bit of research, it'll make more sense. And then you're good to go. But then after a while, especially if you've been, using your Sawyer Mini in dirty water, a lot of dirty water, that those particles and stuff can end up clogging the fibers up, right? So then you need to get clean water that you will have already gotten through your Sawyer Mini. Fill your syringe up. This comes with a Sawyer Mini, right? So it comes with it. Fill it up with water. like that, and then flush it, you know, and then that will get rid of all, that will just back flush it, get rid of all the crap, so it's nice and fresh for your next one. So that comes with a Sawyer Mini as standard, and then you've got your straw, so you can literally wrong end, you can literally drink straight through it from a water source. So that's pretty much it. That and that is what you get in when you order a new Sawyer Mini. That's what you get, and the instructions for 100,000 litres. You know, that's a lot. What else is in here? This is bleach. So I think I've got the instructions on there. 8 drops of bleach per 1 gallon. So that's nearly 4 litres. So it works out about 2 drops every litre. Again, don't use any flavoured bleach, you know, like lemon bleach, stuff like that. Just get the bog standard ordinary stuff, put it in a little bottle like that, and every now and then, every year and a half, maybe 2 years, empty what's turned into water, because that's what bleach does. Bleach is something you need to really rotate through. So yeah, I've got a little bottle with a dropper as well to add to purifying it. Got a little charger here. Not quite sure what that's for. And just loads and loads more of these. So yeah, that's my Sawyer Mini water purification kit. So it's got a few other things in there that are also going to be useful to me, and they all fit into this little bag. I wonder, who has anyone not got a Sawyer Mini? I could maybe contact a Sawyer Mini, try and find the cheapest one, and then ask them if they want to do a deal. If there's anything that you can come up with that you think you could use further down the line, if enough people agree and they, I won't mind with that, or I won't mind some of that, or whatever, right? I will endeavour to try and get someone to knock money off. I will, you know, I've done it before and I don't mind doing it again. I love it. Hello, Alan. I've just shown everyone that photo, that group photo of us all, you know. Yeah, it was lovely. It was lovely. Alan's so nice, such a nice guy, you know, so fucking laid back. He really is a nice chap. And it was a pleasure to go wild camping with him. So thanks for joining us, brother. Is Joanna going to bed already? She's not a night owl, is she? I say, get your kit out for the girls. Right. I'm going to do that. Right, but bit by bit. We'll start off tonight with the cap. Okay. And then I'll start working my way down. And I'll just I'll just watch the view can just go down and down and just gone, because no one wants to see that shit, you know, especially if you're scared of snakes. Oh dear. Where are we? United we stand, divided we fall. Absolutely, mate. And we are becoming united. When I said that during World War II, people that didn't get on with each other, Vera and Lucy, you know, it's like, wash your curtains, you chatty bitch. Oh, fuck off. Your Frank's pissed again. So what? At least he's working, you know, just like that all the time. Neighbours that hate each other. World War II came around, and they would have turned into the best of friends, because they had an external threat, an external problem. So they would have just become like the best of mates. And I can see that sort of cohesion happening in real time across the country with the British people, you know, of all colours, because we need to get rid of any threat to our way of life in this country. We have to preserve our culture at all costs. And saving our culture on top of making sure we're saving our kids and our women, you know, and vulnerable men at all costs. Nice one, enjoyed that. Thanks, Terry. No problem. If you can hang in there, Ruth, I'll see if I can get a seller to knock some money off one. Just so you've got one, at least got one, and maybe some of you guys might want to just have a spare. I've got 4 now, you know. Got one in the camper van, one that's spare to go camping, one in the car, one in the caravan. So car, caravan, motorhome, and here. So 4, yeah. They're very, very well worth it. Are they 40 quid now? Fucking hell. Oh, you bought 2 for 40 quid. That's a bargain. That's really good. Really, really good. I hate using Amazon, but sometimes they are the cheapest. Yeah, they are. Sometimes it's when every penny's starting to count, which it is. You know, you can just kind of, oh, I've got a really bad cramp in my right leg. Oh man, it's one of those pains that's fucking horrible, and it just won't go away. It's like someone stabbed you in the back of your leg. Whoa, that was most unpleasant. Yeah, so just shopping around, because for all of us now, every penny counts. Every single penny counts. So, you know, if you can shave off £1 here and a pound there, then that gives you £2 and plus some change to buy some more food to put away. You know, it all adds up. It was a great photo, Alan. Yeah. Oh man, what I'll do is, because we didn't get a chance to exchange phone numbers, brother, because none of us had a signal. So I'll get Michael to send me your phone number if you're cool with that, and then I'll forward that photo on to you if Michael hasn't done already, because Michael's got it now, and then I need to email it to Paul, so we've all got a copy for prosperity, you know. A reminder of a really, really beautiful sort of 24 hours, you know. Haven't got one, but on my list. I'd grab one whilst you can, because I think if everyone suddenly realised what they're putting in there, what's coming through in the tap water. But then, having said that, soya minis, they'll only stop parasites and bacteria. They won't prevent anything chemical. So if you're drinking water that was right next to a chemical spill, you're going to end up with those chemicals in you, you know. That's why I'm missing my distiller, because that takes everything out of the water, everything. So you have to add your own stuff afterwards. But it's on the blink. It's the little button. It won't stay in. And I don't want to just be stood there for 2 hours holding that button in. And yeah, I need to, I just need to see if I can source another switch. Haven't got one, but I'm on this one. So got a wee burn runs length of back garden. A wee burn runs length of back garden that gets fresh mountain water hard. It so wouldn't need much filtering. No, it wouldn't. I was drinking straight from that stream. Alan will tell you, I was drinking straight from that. As soon as we arrived, I was just there, just cupping it, you know, and just drinking it like that, how we would have done it thousands of years ago. And I felt completely confident that I'd have been absolutely fine. Worst case scenario, I get a few little parasites in me, which I've got supplements that will get rid of them. So it's not a problem. Don't forget you've got, in case the girls think they are treats. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I'll just keep an eye on them. They've not shown any interest in it, but I'll make sure I clean them up if it starts like nosying around it. Having your own stream, David, is the dream. Having your own stream, David, is the dream. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I would love that. I mean, some people would say you're quite lucky, Terry. You've got a really healthy canal at the bottom of your street, and then just beyond the canal, you've got a really healthy river, you know, with fish in it and kingfishers and egrets. I've seen 3 egrets now. There used to only be one egret. Yeah, but you know, if for whatever reason we weren't able to turn our tap on and get water anymore, then people, you know, there are a lot of rivers in India and that where people they'll bathe in there. The sewage goes in there. There's like plastic bottles and all sorts of shit just floating around, and they don't give a fuck about the environment, and then they just bathe in there, you know. So I can imagine that that could happen to the river down there eventually. If no one had access to water, they'd go and get that, you know, even though they won't have any means to make it safe to drink. Yeah, but anyway, you know, that's not happened yet. We can't get stressy about stuff that's not happened yet. I'll text it to you now. Right, nice one, mate. Yeah, just text my number to Terry. Right, okay. And like I said, I'll get back to this lady on the organic whole egg powder. I'll contact her tonight, so she'll see that first thing in the morning. And if you go to buy it and the code isn't up, she's not got around to putting the code up, just you don't need to continue with your purchase. Just wait and then come back again when it is up. Right, okay. There you go, mate. part of the reason we moved here, Sea Lock, to the front of us, Argyle Forest. Oh my God. So you'll have deer in there then. Argyle Forest to the rear. Not hard to survive here. Have for thousands of years. Yeah. There's a calm in gardens next to us, date back 1,000 years, 5,000 years. Wow. Oh, do you know, honestly, I've never been to Scotland. But I would love to go somewhere where I would just love to go somewhere that's very, very Scottish, and the sun just kind of going down or just coming up, and a lone Scotsman in a kilt with bagpipes on the top of a hill with rutting stags in the background. Yeah, I'd fucking love that. I'd love that. But what I think of and what I like the idea of, it never turns out, you know. No point in me having a fucking bucket list. Oh dear. And you get lots of deer come in the back garden. Oh, I would love that. Imagine looking out into your back garden and you've got deer in your back garden. That'd be amazing. I had a cat once and a squirrel. But not a rutting, I was going to say a rutting slag. I've not had any of them in my garden either, because I wouldn't allow that. I don't like rutting slags in my garden. I don't even know what that looks like, but it does sound like something I don't want. But yeah, it sounds very, very idyllic where you live. You know, really, really lovely. And again, I suppose I am quite lucky that I've got those beautiful green spaces at the bottom of the garden. You know, it's not a massive area, and most of the people do look after it. But there are some people, you know, like going to that wild camping site. It was so beautiful there, so beautiful, so perfect. But people were leaving shit behind. You know, you should leave no trace. Make a fire in an existing fireplace where people have made previous fire, and take all your shit home with you. We didn't leave a single trace, apart from maybe a few tiny holes in the grass where our tent pegs went. That was it. We took everything back with us. There's no excuse. But yeah, that's a point. Cairns are burial mounds of our ancestors, and the cairn dog is called such because the come for sky, whether they caught mice, etc., from around the cairns. Whew. I found that a bit of a challenge. Yeah, leave no trace. Take only memories and photos. Exactly. Yeah. And if you do that, again, this is leading by example. You know, when you leave nothing, if you turn up to a place, right, like Radford, right, which was my hometown, it's an absolute, it's turned into a third world town, you know. If it was a tidy town, which is what it was when I was living there, you know, there was a bit of poverty, you know, but it was a tidy town. Everyone was house proud. Everyone had a best room, which was usually the front room for guests, you know. Our doorsteps would be swept and our net curtains would be pearly white, you know. And people, when people go somewhere where it's nice and tidy and you can see it's been respected, they think twice about dropping litter. But when these fucking retards go somewhere where people are dropping litter, they are more likely to then drop more litter. They think, oh, it's everywhere anyway. So it's not going to make any difference. I'll just leave litter here. But when you go to a place like where me, Alan, Michael and Paul went last night, it's just so ridiculously, stunningly beautiful there. I can't get my head around people leaving shit behind. Just take it. You had the room in your bag to bring it. You've got the room in your bag to take it back with you. You know. And as I said, so we wanted a campfire. You know, 4 blokes sat around a campfire, putting the world to rights. You know. But we couldn't find any wood. It had been picked dry. However, I went equipped just in case, because there's no way any of us could have carried wood that far, you know, and then go back to the car and then bring more wood that had burned out within an hour. So let me see if I can find it and I'll show you. Again, this is more for the blokes, I think, but and that's not me being sexist or anything like that. But as blokes, we quite like the whole hunter-gatherer thing. You know, we like getting out there and providing for our women and our kids. And so that hunter-gatherer element. Oh man, bear with me. To all the ladies out there, if you thought your handbag was bad, you've seen nothing. After all that, I still can't find it. I can't find it. I can't find it. But it weighs next to nothing, right? And it's like a chainsaw blade with 2 handles on either side, on either end. So you put the chainsaw side up, it packs to that, and then it's in a little pouch. It takes up no room in your. So we were able to climb up into the forest and find dead trees that no one had bothered with, and we just, like a couple of lumberjacks, to me, to you, to me, to you, to me, to you, and got loads and loads of wood, you know. Now if I hadn't taken that saw, again, it's, if you can afford one, get one. They're not expensive, but if you are watching every single penny, just spend your money on food, you know. Don't go buying gadgets that you think you might not ever use. But I'd rather have it and not use it. But I knew that this was going to be effective. I knew it was going to be good. I mean, these are pretty good. You know, that I've got an S. It's not a particularly old phone, you know, and the more processing power and stuff that you've got in your phone, the more up to date your phone is, the more processing power it's got and all that. It can mean that you need a more powerful charger to charge it up, right? But I can stick a cable in there that's a type C that fits this phone. Yeah. And if I spend about 3 minutes of conversation, I need help, this is where I am. That power that's generated by you. So a little hand crank, and they do work, you know. I wasn't sure if it would work on this phone, you know, but it did. That's why I took it along with me. I absolutely didn't need. I took a lot of stuff that I didn't need to take. But some of the stuff that I thought, am I really going to need this? And it turned out that we did. I'm seeing if I can find it. Bear with me. And as a compliment to this handheld chainsaw, my trusty Barco saw. These aren't just the people say, it's a pruning saw. It's a pruning saw, you bastard. Well, it's not wood that went through in the time that we were there, that we were camping there, is ridiculous, and it goes through it like butter. You know, some people go, oh, now you want to get a silky sword. Silky saw. I prefer this, unless you're going for really, really, really big saws, then I would go silky. You know, where you've got a handle on each side and you've got this massive bow saw and you're just kind of doing it like that, then yeah, silky's your one. But as a portable saw, these Barco ones are great. They are absolutely spot on. See, and I've got a few of these. I do think this is something worth investing in. You know, if at any point you need to cook in your garden or something like that, and you need some wood or something like that, you can just go out and get it if it's safe. Well, then I think too far ahead sometimes. I like to cover every angle. I never want to get caught out from any angle. So that sends my prepping mind into overdrive sometimes. Yeah, I've definitely packed it. I just can't remember where. Took a first aid kit. Oh, I just want to show. Oh, I just want to show it you, and I'm putting my hands and finding everything else apart from what I wanted to show you. You know. When I do this short, hopefully I will have found it by then, and I'll just show you. I'll show you what it is, and Alan will confirm, and Michael. Hey, Michael, how you doing, mate? Thanks for joining us. Michael and Alan will both vouch for this chain thing. You've just got a loop of material, strong material, on the end of each side. They're about that long. I'm like this big, and you just get it underneath the log and just go like that, and it just goes through it. That's it. Before you got another log for the fire. So we ended up turning up. Everyone was desperately clambering around to try and find wood to have a campfire. About 3, maybe 4 encampments there as well, just dotted around because it's just such a beautiful spot. And we ended up having the best campsite, the best campfire than anyone else, you know, because we had the equipment and the know-how and the determination to get wood so we could have a fire, and we ended up with a lovely fire. It was lovely, really nice. We have roaming goats that eat everything in the front garden. I can't grow anything food-wise there. Is your front garden all open then, Ruth? That sounded like a very, very, very personal question. Well done. Yeah, fenced off. So can he get over the stone wall now? Eat the bark of the tree as well. They love that too. Yeah, they can be quite destructive. I mean, there's been a few people that have said there's no other creature on Earth that actively destroys its own environment around them. And I was just thinking, that's an absolute load of bollocks. Beavers. Beavers are very, very destructive. Beavers gnaw away at, this just sounds funnier and funnier. Beavers they gnaw away at trees, and then they build dams. So that affects aquatic life further down the river, and the damage that they do to all the trees and the new trees and stuff like that. So beavers are very destructive. Elephants, very destructive. Yeah, there's loads. We're not on our own, you know. Would be lovely to see them close up. We have roaming goats. Oh yeah. You used to see that a lot in the countryside. You know, they'd be all kind of tied off to on the roadside almost, just eating the grass. I've already got the billy goat, the billy goatee. Hope you're coming up and stay with us, T. Ever fancy a wee break? You and the girls, more than welcome, bud. Love it here. It's beautiful. Found my Eden. Oh, it's so lovely. You know, when someone ends a comment like that I found my Eden, you know that it's going to be special. I might take you up on that, David, if that's a genuine offer. I could nip and see a few people whilst I'm in Scotland. As long as you haven't got any dogs, you know, because these two will just fucking eat your dog. But yeah, it's a very, very kind offer. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I might take you up on that one day. I'd like to meet as many of our little tribe as I possibly can. I really would. It'd be nice. Where are we? Hi, Terry and tribe. Yeah, Michael. Oh, I've gone a bit too far up. I've got that Barco Laplander one. It is good, isn't it, Sky Girl? It's brilliant, very, very sturdy. And you can just buy you know, spear blades for it, which are about half the price of the entire Sword. I keep saying sword, you know. Why am I fucking William Wallace? How are your legs, Michael? Yeah, we were up till 3 a.m. in the morning, up till 3 a.m. And then Michael and Alan went to bed. Me and Paul stayed up, stoking the fire, and then thought, you know what, we should fuck off to bed. Because as we looked to our south, was it south? Oh, I can't remember now. Yes, sort of south. It looked like it was just starting to get light. You know, you could just see just a slight illumination on the horizon. I was thinking, yeah, come on, mate, we need to get our heads down, mate. Come on. So we did about 3:30, something like that. But it was just talk all the way. It was lovely, so lovely. I think we'll go back there again, Michael. What do you think? They climb the walls. The goats do. They climb the walls. Actually, I've seen what goats can do. There was a big dam wall, right? And these goats and their young ones find little tiny little bits like that to get their hoofs on and work their way over to find salt deposits on the wall of the dam. You know, there's about 150 to 300 foot drop. Incredible! It's incredible what these goats can do. Mind blowing. Not together, I may add. Oh no, not together. No. We were together and separate at the same time. There's no dogging. We didn't do any dogging or anything like that. I'm not a dogging kind of guy. I don't think Alan is, Michael or Paul either. So yeah, swiftly move on. How cool to have a great night in front of a campfire, putting the world to rights with your mates. It was lovely. It was absolutely perfect. I don't think it could have turned out any better, to be honest with you. It exceeded my. But the thing is, the last time I went to this specific wild camping spot, so because I've been there before, but only once to that particular spot, and that was with Sal. She came wild camping with me, and that was the first and only time that tent that I took had been used since Sal, because I slept in a hammock. She was in the tent with the Sky, our previous border terrier. So it brought back a few memories. You know, I remember being at this tree, and I remember washing the plates in the stream, and you know, it was a bit bittersweet initially, but once things got going and we all started talking and hunting for firewood and like chopping shit up and sawing stuff off and cooking and yeah, just like a brotherhood. Once that kicked in, you know, it was all positive from then on. It was lovely. Really, really, really nice. And like I say, we're going again. So let's go a bit deep and dark for a second, right? Because I would like to get your guys' take on it, right? So all of these grassroots communities, right, are coming together cohesively, and they're going and standing outside these hotels, right? And the police can only be stretched so far because they're not recruiting people quick enough, and they're getting coppers all over the country. They're thinking, I can't believe that some of my colleagues from another force actively encouraged the lefty lunatics escorted them from the train station to the protest and made everything, stressy. That two-tier nonsense is it's alive and well, and if anything, it's worse than it's ever been. So they're not recruiting quick enough, yet they're losing coppers. They are hemorrhaging coppers. So what do you think their plan B is going to be? Because they've got to have one. They've got to have a plan B, because there's no way that they'll have enough police to police each one of these hotels. No way. All over the country. All over. In fact, Lana sent me a map of all of the hotels in England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales, and it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Oh, good on Sally for wild camping. Yeah, I did feel a bit bad because I had the thick sleeping bag. We went there in the summer, but it is quite cold there at night, even during the summer, because grass absorbs heat. This is why everything's so much hotter and humid in cities and big towns, because the brickwork and the road and the pavements and all that soaks up the heat and holds it there until the sun's come off it, then it releases that heat, so it stays hot. Whereas in the middle of the sticks, all the heat's absorbed, but she had a shit sleeping bag, so she didn't sleep very well, and I felt quite bad about that, And she said that as soon as I got into the hammock and said goodnight, within 5 minutes I was snoring. That's what being in a hammock does to me. I love it. And now Michael loves it as well, because he gave it a go at the last little camp that we had. And there's nothing not to like about hammocks. And they take up no space, take up no room in your bag. This is another one of my favourite little mouse. Very, 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 very sharp. But it's really, really good for splitting wood. So you put it on the top, blade down, and then you get another piece of wood or a batten or a mallet if you've got a mallet, and you just tap and it'll just split the wood. Especially if you've gone wild camping and all the wood's wet. If you've got a knife like this and something you can use as a baton, you can get to the dry wood right in the centre, so you can still make a fire. It's all down to how determined you are. I can't get the bastard thing to go back in. Thought I was going to lose a finger there. And another ferrous rod. There's no striker with this ferrous rod because that's what that's for. And then inside here, I've got, you can't really see, but that's a powder. That's magnesium powder. So when you're starting to make your fire, you just sprinkle some of this on there, and it crackles and crackles and turns into little flames, and then you just get your fire going. I've got loads of little kits all over the place, something for everything. And I do think that this year is the year to get everything you need. Yeah. Plan B could be the army and martial law if the police are stretched. Right, Ruth. I have thought about that, right? But because we're getting more and more involved with other people's wars, right? Our lads and lasses are getting posted here, there, and everywhere other than England, where they're needed the most, right? So I think that I don't think that's going to be their plan B, the army. And again, the British Army is different. I don't think so. In Poland, for example, in the early 80s, there was a breakdown in government. They had no government for a while. It was completely disbanded. And as a result of that, martial law was put in place. So they had soldiers on the streets, Polish soldiers on the streets, and they were absolute wankers to their own people. Our squaddies they won't be like that. They won't be like that. So are they gonna do what I think they're trying to do in Ireland by signing up as many of these young fighting age bastard cockroaches to be PSOs? You know, that would boost the numbers up, wouldn't it? We just don't know. We don't know. But this is gradually building across the country, and it's spreading. You know, it's like it's infectious. It's spreading, but the police can only be spread so thinly before they become completely and totally ineffective. You know, against thousands or hundreds of thousands of people, angry people that have heard about yet another rape in their town, and the police are doing fuck all about it. You know, vigilantism is going to become a massive thing over the next few years, because when the people stop seeing their governments doing anything for the benefit of the people, because anyone with a couple of eyes can see they're doing the opposite of looking after their own people, which is what their main job is. Hello, Chelsea Star. Rosa, how you doing? Are you all right? So yeah, I'm wondering if they'll recruit these cockroaches and make them because that would make, because they've had these cockroaches turning up to people's houses for people when they've been trying to take someone's house away from them, and rapid response units have turned up, and loads of people that can barely speak any English, all with SIA badges on them. So they were hired by the council or hired by whoever, you know, to try and take the house back. And again, no wet ink signature on the warrant of seizure, nothing, you know. But there's just a massive wall full of cockroaches holding the line, preventing them, the people from getting to the house. Got there in the end, you know. We're a determined bunch. Anyone else wonder what the plan B might be? I think Ruth has definitely got, a point there. I just don't think our soldiers would do that, and most of them are now posted here, there, and everywhere in war zones, you know. The police have chosen their side, yeah. the chasm between the British public and the police now is irreparable. It can't be fixed. It's gone too far. You know, even people that are fast asleep know what two-tier policing means. It's a relatively new term. On top of the fact that these people can't help themselves by saying, yeah, I'm a cop. Yeah. Just in case you were going to ask me what I do for a living, I thought I'd just tell you I'm a cop. Kind of a big deal, you know. Thinking that people are going to be impressed by that. Only shallow fuckwits would be impressed by that. But their egos and their lack of ability to protect the British is ridiculous. They're just there for making revenue for further up the chain, just making revenue, more and more revenue. And yeah, like I said, we can police ourselves. We just need to get organised. But vigilantism is going to start taking off. I'm telling you, there'll be more and more and more. It's the same as the ULEZ cameras. You know, people thought, fuck this, you know, charging me for just getting around, charging me to get to work, to put money in the economy that you're squandering abroad instead of putting the heating on for our pensioners. Oh, the list goes on. I fucking hate them. I hate them. And because they tell everyone I'm a cop, the whole street will know it, you know. And if this two-tier nonsense carries on, then people are going to see them as the enemy, and they'll be treated as the enemy. And when you treat someone as an enemy, it's not usually very friendly, you know. Well, I'll write that down, Lana. Thank you very much. And I'll check that out. What's it called again? Little lifeboats. All one. Oh, little boats. Why did I read little lifeboats? I think it's because I'm sick and tired of little boats landing on our shores. 2020. Thank you for that, Lana. Very much appreciated. My thoughts to martial law with we know who marshalling it or as. Yeah, you see, again, if you've got squaddies that have done a little bit of time in the second Iraq war, and they did a tour of Afghanistan, and they come back home, and they're asked to take control of the streets. For starters, we haven't got enough soldiers. Our army is very, very small. If you take our army, our navy, our air force, if you take them all, you know, it's not very big. So if they're going to be involved directly or indirectly in other people's wars, of which there are a lot of now, you know, another one's just started out with Thailand and Cambodia. So Thailand and Cambodia are now, but that'll be nothing to do with us. You know, we won't get involved with that. They haven't got any oil. Yeah. So that they come home after shooting at people that have been shooting at them, and they come home and then they see the same looking people walking the streets of their own country, people that tried to murder them, people from the same region, you know, of Afghanistan, you know. And you know what? The highest risk of rapist, nationality wise, is Afghan. Probably second by Somalia and Pakistan, you know, but there's a few, and they're all Muslims. If I didn't catch you in enough time, Rosa, sweet dreams. Oh no, it's Sky Girl. Sorry, getting my names mixed up. Sleep well, Sky Girl, and thanks for joining us tonight. Much appreciated. I need to head to bed too because I'll be up at 5 a.m. Night, Terry, and everyone. Sweet dreams, Lana, and thanks for joining us tonight. I would like to shut down before midnight because I think it would just be better for everyone, you know. People need some sleep. I slept like a baby last night, you know, and you're not gonna have a difficult night's sleep sleeping in a tent with your two dogs cuddled up to you, and all you can hear is just their breathing and a stream. That's it. That's all you can hear. Total bliss. No EMF, you know, hitting us. Couldn't get a signal on the phone. Perfect. So I slept like a baby. And I had a lie-in. The dodgy judges have a lot to answer for. They're unbelievable. Well, you see, that's another thing, Michael. All of these judges they're not really proper judges because they enforce maritime law, you know, in maritime courts. So if all of those judges were removed, we just use the word removed because they're part of a lot of serious injustices, and then replace them with judges that are well versed in common law, and we'll go back to a common law country because that's how it should be. A common law country that's filled with people that love the country, love its little ways, and appreciate and respect its culture. Anyone that wants to try and harm any of our people or change our culture needs to be destroyed. It's as simple as that. Just remove the threat. That's a beautiful description. Yeah, do you know what, Rosa? It was very accurate. I didn't want to. None of us. I think all of us would have intended on taking a little bit of video footage of where we were, but I think sometimes, you know, when you're in the moment and you're thinking, this is fucking beautiful. This is paradise. When you're thinking like that, the last thing you want to be doing when you're having a magic moment is reaching for your Black Mirror device / distraction, because then you're not in the moment anymore, you know? So I took a little bit of video footage from inside my tent whilst I was chomping away on a Fray Bentos chili con carne, which I highly recommend, by the way. It's a meal in a package, and Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. It's quite nice. Let me see if I can show you the video, the little video that I took. Ooh, nearly deleted that lovely photo. It's only 45 seconds long. Right. And up there towards the top, that was Kinder Downfall, where the I'm going to go in. There were a few other people wild camping down there. So it's very, very slim pickings with firewood. I've got my nice chili con carne there, nice and hot. So we're going to go on a bit of a search for some firewood shortly. You can't really make that out, can you? Living the dream. I mean, absolutely. And that was the stream. That was the stream just there, right next to us. That's all you could hear when you settled down to go to sleep. Just the stream, you know, just this babbling, almost like talking to you, you know, almost telling you a lullaby as you drift off. It's just so beautiful. I'd love to go back there again. Terry in the tent with the dogs and the sound of, yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect. It took a while because the girls had never slept in that tent, and it was a proper backpacking tent. So it wasn't tiny, you know, it opened up to be a fair size. But because they'd not slept in that tent before, they were trying to figure out, well, where do I sleep, right? And both of them just wanted to get inside my sleeping bag, you know, and it's a mummy sleeping bag. I mean, there's a little bit of wriggle room in there, but there's not enough room for me and two fucking dogs. So that took a while for them to just figure their, you know, I quite like it here, you know, and just settle down for the night. Zephyr, she settled down at the bottom of the tent, no problem, out like a light, but Storm couldn't make her mind up. But she did eventually. So I had Zephyr curled up right next to my feet, and Storm, I was sort of like leaning over, and she was kind of half in the sleeping bag. And I just got my arm over her and just felt my arm going up and down like that as she was breathing. Everything was so therapeutic, everything, you know. And this is what happens when you completely envelop yourself with nature, you know. It's so beneficial for us, and more people need to be spending more time in really, really green spaces. Hopefully green spaces that are not too close to one of these hotels, you know. Isn't that a shame that you've got to watch, keep looking over your shoulder and being nervous and in your own country, just because Blair set the ball rolling in 1997. He'll be one of the first. In fact, I'm going to post something into the post section, right? And I'll play a little bit of it, just a little bit, okay? And this is how it should be and how it's going to be, right? It's going to take a lot of effort, hell of a lot. But I'll post it. I've posted it in the post section. It was the last post I put in the post section. And it's titled Magna Carta 2025 Declaration of Rights, right? Now, does anyone remember me saying that we the people have the right to bear arms? And when I say bear arms, the same as America does. Canada had the same right. New Zealand had the same right. Australia had the same right. All Five Eyes had the right to bear arms. We still have that. It's still constitutionally our right. It's written in our constitution. Anyone that carries a firearm as an employee, then that's breaking the law. So armed police, for example, armed police, they shouldn't be carrying weapons. It's illegal. If you look at it it's not illegal, it's unlawful, right? Look it up, please look it up. So we can. And the punishment for treason is death by hanging by the neck until you are dead. So we just need to start making a lot of rope. Water can't write on this thing tonight. I read between the lines, Rosa. It's all good. Sounds like bliss. Yeah, spot on. T. Need to take a step back to progress. Common law is all we need to govern us going forward. Absolutely spot on. Yeah, but I mean, our governments are trying their level best to change our constitution. They want to try and change it. They want to remove it completely. There's a lot of seriously unlawful things that they are trying to do right now, because it's just a massive power grab. You know, they've already got a significant amount of control over the people already. But then to take pretty much everything you own, including your house, and then rent it back to you. Completely destroy the economy, because all of these businesses are being wiped out. I've got cramp again. Oh my God. All these businesses are being wiped out, and all these businesses are employers, you know. So we've got employers losing their business, and the people that were working for those businesses losing their jobs, and then you've got loads and loads and loads of middle class and millionaires and billionaires leaving the country, and a lot of them would have had a lot of employees in this country as well. So, you know, this is all kind of leaning towards, well, don't worry about it. You don't need a job. Let us give you money. We'll give you money. But you need to put it in your digital wallet. Well, I haven't got a digital wallet. Well, I'll show you how you get it. Okay, just download this app. Slippery slope. It really, 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 really is. But yeah, they are treasonous. They're treasonous. And even though Tony Blair put a clause in the law in a legal sense, not a lawful sense, because it can't be lawful, right? They're not meant to be changing laws without our consent, because we're being governed by consent, right? They're meant to work for us. But now we're living in a communist country under a dictatorship. So yeah, they are going to try and change a few laws and make things a lot more difficult for us. But it's whether or not you're prepared to abide by those ridiculous laws. And you can either be one of those, what can we do? What can we do? You know, this is just the way it is now. I don't fucking like people like that. I'm more of a what are we going to do kind of guy. never ever conform to tyranny, ever. Which is why I'm trying to do as much as I possibly can, put as much in place as I possibly can to try and wing it, you know. And that again, that could cause all sorts of other complications, like getting insurance for your car, getting insurance for anything. But the thing is, eventually it will be tied to jabs. It's like, oh, we've had to give you some deductions on this month's e-money because you're not up to date with your vaccines. They still like to use the word vaccine, don't they? You know, that wasn't a vaccine. We know that wasn't a vaccine. It doesn't come under the definition of vaccine. So I call it the jabs, you know, just the jabs. So if you're not up to date with your jabs and you're not a fan of mRNA, gene editing, Frankenstein, spike protein inducing goo in your arm, then they can stop your money, you know, because you can't get a job anywhere because no one's taking on. So it's all down to how far you're prepared to push it, and it is doable. It is doable, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be mildly easier for me because I've got no mortgage on this house now, you know. But there are people out there that live in rented accommodation. There are people out there that have got a massive mortgage left to pay, when in actual fact that money didn't exist in the first place, which means you don't need to pay the rest of your mortgage. You know, your straw man needs to pay for that. Everyone was given a trust. Everyone was floated on the stock market when you were born. That's what your birth certificate is. So it's the birth certificate that owes the money for that, for your mortgage, not you. And as bonkers as that sounds, please look it up because it's true. It's true. So you could stop paying your mortgage. I'm not saying that you should. I'm just saying that money wasn't there to start off with, and the debt is against your birth certificate, not you. So they'd come to repossess your house. You call your local rapid response team, and the police will no doubt turn up as well because they just hired thugs, right? And there won't be one single wet ink signature by a judge on any of that paperwork. None. Which means then the police are acting out of their duty and their jurisdiction, which they don't have over you anyway, right? Because they work for a corporation. You're not a corporation. Your birth certificate is. So they can't take your home off you. They just can't do it. So if you stop paying your mortgage, but then turn around and say, I'm not refusing to pay, I'm just asking for proof that money actually existed in the first place. I want proper evidence, as much evidence as you can give me, then I'll carry on paying my mortgage. Or you can turn around to me and say, actually, it's my all caps, the all caps name that owes the money for this mortgage, not me, and stop paying it that way. And you can do that lawfully. You've got to just try and think of a way to get, again, I don't like the whole dooming thing. I'm not about that. I'm a solution-based man. So I'm always about trying to find ways to get around things. And initially, there's not going to be that sort of issue with the digital ID, not initially, because they'll sell it to people. It's like, we've obviously got a lot of people from different countries now, and a lot of them are undocumented, and we need to make sure that we know who's who. So it's pretty much a case of papers, please. Where is your papers? Have you got your papers? Show me your papers. It's the same thing, but just digital. Well, that's the kind of excuse that they'll give to push it, and they'll offer people that are already on their arse £100 deposit into it already, which is, where they're managing to find this. They've got a lot of money trees, haven't they? It's called the Raw Mint. Common law, yeah, everyone needs to brush up on common law. Do you know what? If you just want to kind of get a little bit of a starter, because the Magna Carta, it still stands. It still stands. It's just that they've bent it, they've warped it, they've added on acts and statutes, and just bollocks. They've added loads of shit on that's not lawful. So this, I don't know if you can make this out. Yeah, that's not too bad. Just so you can learn the basics. So take a screenshot on your phone if you're on your phone, and this will just give you the basics that you need to know. And it's all for us. All for us. Step 3, forming a common law court. We don't have any of them in this country yet. All of our courts should be common law courts, all of them, but they're not. They're maritime, so they're using laws of the sea on the land. But yeah, little books like that, get a bit. I'm like I said, I'm not much of a reader. But you start getting into that, right, and getting a bit more clued up on common law and sovereignty, right? And sovereignty is something that you've already got, but many people just don't realise. They don't really realise it because they're so twisted up into the system, indoctrinated. But all of you lovely souls here aren't indoctrinated. You're free thinkers, yeah, the beast system. It is, yeah, it is. It's right out of the book of Revelation, soon to come. Soon to come in, I think. Do you know what, Ruth? It is almost like they're using the Bible. Because they know that there's so many Christians on the planet. If they go along with the Bible and its prophecies, you know, do you know what I mean? Just to make it, just to fuck with people's heads even more. But yeah, I've read, again, you know me, Ruth, I'm not a Christian. I'm a spiritual man. I do believe in God or a creator. But I have read some of the book of Revelations, and yeah, it's incredible how a lot of that ties in with what's happening right now. It's mad. Gene therapy, experimental eugenics program, in short. Perfect. I wish I could memorize that. Yeah, because that's what it is. That's what it is. I just hope any of our lovely lot that ended up, you know, getting jabbed for whatever reason, I just hope it was saline, you know. Chances are it was. But if they start bringing in more injectables, I've just got no faith. I've got no faith or trust in the NHS anymore. It's all gone. It's all gone. And, you know, I mean, even if like little things like if you needed a blood transfusion, it's a fucking lottery because you've got jabbed and unjabbed blood all mixed up together. So you don't know what you're going to get. Plus, if you needed to go in for an operation or something like that, what's to say that they're not jabbing you whilst you're in, you know, under anaesthetic? I'm telling you, it's a very, very dark, devious place now, our NHS. I don't think everyone that works there is dark and devious. I think they're just oblivious, some of them. You know how not many nurses have come forward off the back of the genocide of our elderly, because that's what it was. Oh man. Anyway, Roseanne Barr was on her channel talking about the new religion they're creating to usher in a one world government. Yeah, I've seen photos of leaders, really, really prominent leaders of all of the main religions in the world, including the fucking Dalai Lama that was getting a bit fresh with children, you know, just quite inappropriate and creepy. Yeah, everyone was there, you know, the head of the Jew religion, the head of Christianity, you know, they were all there, all the leaders of certain religions, all there together, you know, all planning. So again, they can bring in what they want. You'll always have the choice. You'll always have the choice to say no. I'm good, thank you, but thanks for the offer. You know, be polite to these horrible manipulative cunts. But you'll always have a choice, but you probably need a backup plan. But yeah, Roseanne Barr gets ridiculed a lot because she seems quite wacky, and she's quite wacky, but she comes out with a lot of truth. You know, she's wide awake. I quite like her. I didn't think she was that funny in a program. You know, the series that she had on. I never really watched it because it's not my cup of tea. But she's moved over to England now, as far as I know. Also, the Resonance talking to Epstein rape victims, then it got really dark. They start going into some very dark stuff. Yeah. She's quite clued up. She's quite clued up. I do think what she knows has damaged her a bit, because you can see that mental health has took its toll on her. But she still keeps speaking out, and that's good. You know, I'll tip my hat to her for doing that. Using the Bible as a playbook, a lot of so-called Christians are sitting back and waiting on a savior. No one's coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. David, I 100% agree with that. You know, I know that a lot of Christians, you know, expecting the second coming and all that, and it's like prophetic. But again, I feel about the Messiah syndrome, that I need a hero syndrome. People need to really relinquish that. You don't need to get rid of your faith. Just don't expect anyone to be coming for you, and it will make you stronger and more resilient, especially in the long run. Fight your own battles. The Capillary Wave website, it shows you how to use common law. Whoa. I've not heard of that, Michael. I'm going to write that one down. I'm getting a little bit of a collection going on here. The Capillary, where was it? Wave website. Thank you, Michael. They have inverted everything. So Christianity came for these isles. They've rewritten history. Jews, Romans. Yeah, they have. Yeah. Well, they reckon they've changed the King James Bible approximately 18 times since its inception. And then I think to myself, right, so the New Testament, what was wrong with the old one? If the old one was the original one, and then they've made the New Testament, then why would they make the New Testament if the Old Testament was the original Bible? Did they not like certain aspects of it? And they thought, I don't like that bit, and I don't like that bit. Well, I tell you what, we'll rewrite it. Well, surely that it shouldn't go like that. If it's a book of God, they shouldn't be messing around with it. This is why I don't believe in. Like I said, there are correlations in certain parts of the Bible that you look around, they are happening, you know. But then societies and civilizations, they're cyclical, you know. They get so big, and then there's usually a massive catastrophic event in whatever way that comes, whether it's the pole flip and the slosh back, or whether it's 5G, 6G, you know, reacting with heavy metals in your body, or yeah, I mean, I've been reading up and listening to so much stuff, you know. They want it does seem that 6G is going to be where we're all sort of connected together, almost like a giant battery, like a giant data center. And they can get people to act a certain way just by altering the frequencies around you. It's madness, absolute madness. Now, you couldn't make this shit up. But I've always said that we will get to the other side of this. We will. I guarantee it. We will. Right. But it's the challenge between now and then. But if you make it through, which, you know, by, you know, the fact that you're listening to me now, you're of a certain mindset. So the chances of you doing all right out of this, at least being a lot tougher and a lot more versatile at the end of it, because you will have survived the hardest part, which is proper full-on civil unrest on a nationwide basis. Yeah, anyway. They haven't, but yeah. I've been reading lots on Edgar Case on dreams. Yeah, that's quite interesting. The whole dreams thing, dream interpretation. I don't know if there's anything in it. I don't know. I quite like the idea that there might be. It'd be nice to have, if people can decipher what your dream's all about and where dreams come from. It's very interesting. Goes into this world being the shadow world, and when you sleep, you enter the real world. I've heard that theory. The real world, astral world, where the programming that takes place in sleep is what shapes and affects how our day will be affected. Yeah, quite possible. That theory has rolled around a bit, Rosa, so there could be something in it. Old Testament, the Old Testament is the Jewish Tanakh, I think it's called. The New Testament is the fulfillment of the Old Testament. 2 different books. I'm not sure if I understand that. Because I mean, they left the book of Numbers out and the book of Enoch out, so it's not even a complete. This is what I mean, Ruth. This is why I've got a problem with the Bible. It's taking stuff out, putting different stuff in, chopping, changing stuff around to suit whoever's the monarch of the day. It's just pretty much being edited. So, yeah. Lucid dreams and becoming aware we can navigate how things will show up in the physical world. Yeah, it's really, really tough to know that, because no one's got any proof. We haven't got proof of any of this. We don't even know if we're on a beautiful, shining, bluey green marble floating through space, or we're on a flat Earth, or it's a simulation. We've got no proof. I've never been to space. I've never gotten past Antarctica. And there's lots of binary everywhere. Everything's binary. So that could be some sort of extremely advanced virtual reality, and that your actual physical body is somewhere else experiencing this, where nothing's actually real. It's just a game. We're just playing a game, but a really, really fucked up one. This is what I'm saying. I won't lock on to one theory that I can't prove. But I also won't ever smash anyone else's opinion down on stuff like that either, because I think it's good for the more people that have got more perspectives and takes on things, the better, you know. And like I said, the mind's always, it should be like a parachute, always better when it's open. You know, I keep a very, very, very open mind about all of this, and I don't lock on and latch on to anything. But again, you know, if something resonates with you, if you feel it in your gut, you're thinking that I think that sounds about right, you know, then there's probably some truth in it. Like I said, 500 million neurons in your gut, your second brain. So, you know, your instinct comes from there. Or so they say. We see numbers in nature. Yes, we do. Yeah. As it's our way of understanding it. It's a man-made concept like time. Just how we quantify God's fingerprints. That's a really interesting take, that, David. Yeah, quite like that. Yeah. Again, I'll keep an open mind. If I could never latch onto any of them or any of it, I just let stuff into my head and just float around. And then every now and then, you know, I'll have a little quiet moment myself, and loads of things will come together in my head, and then I've got a picture, you know, and it's usually accurate. But I don't allow my brain to get clogged up anymore. I don't get overwhelmed anymore, you know. Sometimes if I've put too many pieces together and I've come up with a fuck here now, you know, that can put me on a little bit of a downer for a little while, but I soon bounce back, you know. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. But this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. The age of the age of information and awakening. You know, maybe the ancients were onto something. Maybe everything is controlled by astrology, you know. But again, I don't really know that much. I don't know enough about that to be able to go into a proper in-depth conversation about it. Right, we've come up to midnight. Thank you very much, Ruth. That's very, very sweet. And sweet dreams, sweetheart. And give my love to hubby. And yeah, sleep well, sweet dreams. And thank you for joining us. Mind before matter. The placebo proves this. Yeah, exactly. I mean, how bizarre is that? Right? If you're determined to get better, if you're determined to improve yourself, you can do it without, I think you can do it without any medication. You can reverse anything, pretty much. Maybe everything, but definitely lots of different things you can reverse. I mean, I'm sure you won't mind me saying this, but that the exertion of getting to this campsite was a challenge, right? And Alan, who was one of the guys that was with us, he had a back, he had a couple of bones of his spine removed, and it caused irreparable nerve damage to one of his legs. So one of his legs, from sort of like around the knee down, is completely numb. But because he exerted himself, he was so used to putting his best leg forward to walk, and then the other one to catch up, focus on his leg, other one to catch up, best leg. He doesn't walk with a limp or anything, but it's just in his head, it's easier to work that way because he's got no feeling in half of his leg, right? But after that exertion and pushing himself, he put his bad leg forward, which would have been his good leg previously. So there was a neurological connection that made him do something differently for the first time in years. And then when we got to the campsite in the evening time, considering he had you can't feel anything. You could stick a pin anywhere below his knee, anywhere, and he wouldn't feel it. But he experienced cramp in that leg, at the bottom of his leg, for the first time since before he had the operation. So physical exertion is so good for the body, training and making yourself really, really fucking sweat to the point where you feel like you've got nothing left, and just keep pushing yourself, and then when you think you've reached your limit, try and give it another 2 minutes, do another 2 minutes if you can, but just push yourself. Your body fucking loves it. It loves it. And then you've got all of those beautiful endorphins as well, from a good workout. So who knows? Fibonacci numbers and fractals are mind-bending. There's something to it all. I believe there is, yeah. I think everything's connected. Try to remember your dreams. Lovely people, lots of messages. Yeah, I do try to. I know I definitely reach REM 100% because I dream every night. Some are very vivid that will affect my following day because they're so vivid. But most of my dreams, I remember them when I've woken up, but then after I've come down and made a brew, gone. That's it, gone. The outrider, exactly. That I mean, think they call it God's fingerprint, the Fibonacci sequence. I've never heard of that. I don't know why. Sweet dreams, Rosa, and sleep well, sweetheart. Thank you for joining us. Hello, that note, lads and lasses. I don't know about you, Michael, but my upper thighs got a bit of a throb going on. So looking forward to scaling them stairs without my legs just folding in. Yeah. And again, we'll get together again. And if anyone else wants to come camping with us, preferably someone that's been kind of with us for a while. We don't want a complete stranger. No offense to any of the new guys that have joined us. Just people that are established, really. So we know what's what, because there's some dodgy people out there. I'm not saying everyone's dodgy. I'm just saying these bastards would do stuff. They would do stuff like that, Not everything is as it seems, and not everyone is as they seem, But again, resonance and that gut feeling will tell you if something's off about a person. You'll feel it if you're open enough. It's true. It's real, very real. So on that note, and I hate doing this, because I like a good 4 hour minimum live stream, but it's Sunday night and I'm going to go and get into a proper bed. Having said that, if I had a choice between sleeping in my very, very comfortable bed or sleeping on a camping mattress in a sleeping bag next to a stream, I would pick the latter all day long. So again, thank you to everybody for joining me tonight, because I always I love it. I love it when you spend time with me. You know, it's a two-way thing. And yeah, I know it's a Sunday night. I'm sorry I didn't get on a little bit earlier. It just got a little bit mental. So good night, David. Good night, Alan. Good night, Michael. And good night to everyone else. Much love, and I'll see you on the flip side. Ciao for now. Sleep well.